So welcome to part 6 of our series on designing and building a YouTube searcher app. In this particular video, we are going to look at fleshing out our homepage now to start connecting to the live elements of our data feed. We're going to start making the UI look a little bit more attractive than just our static data that we've actually got at the moment. Okay, so let's choose our thumbnail image here and let's have a look and see what we got here. So at the moment, we just got a static string in here. We don't actually want that. We're going to replace that now with our value from our API response. So let's say set from variable, and we're going to choose video item. So that's the name of the variable that we set up in the previous video when we were actually setting up on our list view to have all of the children. If you remember, that's what we did. And then we're in here, we're going to choose JSON path, and this is where we're now going to need to pull out the value that we need. So we go back to our API response. You'll see here that this is just a sample here of the response we got coming back. If we scroll down with inside the video here, we can see that we have this section called thumbnails. Now with inside thumbnails, there is actually a list of thumbnails. Now we're only going to want one of them, which is going to be the first one. Now, if you've done any programming at all before, you would know that perhaps that arrays are 0 index based. So we don't start with number 1, we start with 0. So we're going to pull out this particular this sort of thumbnail here, this URL here at position 0 with inside our array, and we can do that really simple inside Flutterflow. So let's use the power of the JSON path to navigate down and pull out the URL. So we can do that by quite simply here. So we know that we're at the video item level. So here we're just going to want to say thumbnails, and then we're going to want to then choose 0 because that's the first one that we want, and we're going to choose URL. Hit confirm, and we're just going to go back to our preview mode and let's see what that looks like. So if you've got preview mode running, just hit on the little preview up here and then we'll be able to see the working of the app. So if you do that now. So there you go, there's a preview of our application. As you can see there, we've got some thumbnails. It's coming back from our feed, and that makes it look a lot better than just seeing that sample image. Great, let's now look at just fleshing out some of these other sections. So we'll do the title, and then we'll start working on this particular section just here. So let's go back to Flutterflow, and let's look at the title. Now, if we remember back in our feeds, at the video item level, so this just here, our title is quite simply just here. So we can easily reference that with inside Flutterflow by just going up to here, set from variable, choose the video item, choose JSON path, and simply all we need to do is say title. So we're also going to do the author's name at this particular point. So let's choose author name. Now, if we go back again to our feed, this one's a little bit more involved that we're going to have to go down with inside the author section, and then we're going to then have to pull out the title. So we're going to go in here, and that's quite simply by going to the set from variable, we'll go to video item, we'll go to the JSON path, we're going to choose author, and we're just going to say title. That's all that we need to do. Let's do the avatar as well. Again, really simple. We're going to say set from variable again, choose video item, go to JSON path, and just remind ourselves what we're looking for there. We're going to go with inside the author, we're going to go with inside the avatar, and we're going to pull out this URL here. Now, bear in mind, again, this is a list again, so we're going to need to pull out the first one, which is fine for us. There's always going to be one provided. So we're going to go author, avatar, and then URL. So we can do that by saying author, avatar, URL. There we go. Hit confirm. I'm sorry, we just need to go into the avatar here, choose 0 because it's the very first one that we want, and we're just going to say confirm. Let's have a quick preview to see what that's looking like. Let's hop back over to our test mode. Let's hit the instant reload option, and hopefully by magic we should see the results of the changes that we've just made. There we go. So we have our avatar that's coming nicely. We have our title coming through, and then we have the name of the channel as well, which is perfect. Just see if that's different down here. Yeah, we can see here we've got different names. Yeah, excellent, perfect. So things are looking pretty good. Let's work on views now. Now views is a little bit different because we need to combine text for that. So we know that with inside our feed, we have a particular block in here called stats. Now stats has the number of views that we want, and you can see here it's just a very straightforward kind of like a numbered value. We're gonna put the term views on the end of this, so we can do that by combining text with inside Flutterflow. So let's just choose that. Let's go up to here and say set from variable, and you can see here we've got this option called combine text. Let's choose that. The first piece of text we're going to need to actually select our variable. So if you just press on the little T here, we can then say from variable, and we just choose the text there, and we're going to say video item. We're going to again say JSON path, and if you remember, it was called stats.views. Hit confirm, and then we're going to add another piece of text in, and we're going to put a space in here, and then we're going to put the word views. That's all that we need to do. If we hit confirm, and let's just pop back to test mode, let's do a quick reload, and by magic we should see the number of views with the actual term views after it. There it is. Excellent, things are looking good. Let's work on the published time and date now. So here we're just going to select this. Let's have a look in our feed. Let's see what the name of that was. It's called published time text. So let's grab hold of this, and we're just going to go up here. We're going to say video item, go to JSON path, and it is published time text. That's all that we need. Hit confirm. And for one last time, let's have another quick look on the instant reload. And there we go. By magic, we have our time in there, which is absolutely fantastic. So next up, there's just one more thing that we need to do here. We need to handle this duration here. So this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, because actually, if you look in the actual feed here that we got come out from API, and we actually look at we have the data here, we just have length in seconds. We just got a number coming back. Now that that's not really meaningful to the user if we're actually displaying that within that box. So we're going to have to do some magic within inside Flutterflow in order to convert the number of seconds into something a little bit more human readable, something you would expect to see if you're looking actually at an application. Now we are trying to not do any coding with inside this particular sort of series. We're going to see if we can get away with that using the power of Flutterflow's AI to actually write us a bit of code in order for us to use it. So we're going to give this a go. It doesn't always work out, so let's try it. So let's choose the text. Let's go set from variable. So what we're going to do here is going to do this thing called a custom function. So just choose custom function. We're going to say create new function, and we're going to be into a screen which, of course, if you're not a coder, starts to look a little bit scary. But we're going to try and use Flutterflow's open AI to try and write this function for us. So we need to think about what we're trying to achieve here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to pass that value into a custom function. We want to pass our seconds into the custom function, and we're going to want it to kind of do some conversion and then return back a string that is more readable to our user. So something like, you know, minutes with a colon, and then seconds, something like that I think would work quite well for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up this argument here. We're going to need to pass a value in. So just choose add argument, and then here we're just going to quite simply say seconds, and we're going to pass an integer value in, an integer just being a series of numbers, and that is all that we're going to do. Now, in our function name, this is where we need to get a bit more descriptive. So we need to really, the good thing about the AI is the fact is that we can actually sort of type in here what we're actually looking for, and let's see if it can actually generate for us. So in our minds, we know that we want to convert seconds to minutes and return a string. Okay, that's all that we should need to do. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, this will generate some code for us. So hit the forward arrow there. Now, this might take a few moments for this to be generated, so just be patient. It does take a while to have a think, and then let's have a look at the result when it comes back. So the AI has written us a bit of custom code. This really isn't what we're looking for. So just to describe what this actually is doing. So we're passing the number of seconds, and what it's doing is it's actually saying, well, if actually I don't pass anything in, then just return nothing back. And then on the next line, what it's doing is it's actually then dividing the number of seconds by 1 minute, and then it's rounding it. Now that's going to give us like a round number, and then all it's really doing is returning back the rounded number with the term minute at the end. That's not really what we're looking for. So let's try refreshing this again, and let's see if it can write something a bit different for us. So hit the little refresh option. Okay, so let's see what we got now. This looks a little bit more interesting, and the telltale sign is that we've got the minutes and we've got a colon. So this looks like this is going to do exactly what we need it to do. So one little tip here is that we don't just want to sort of move away into these tabs. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take this function. We're going to want it to make it. We want Follow to know that it is our function that we're going to use, and then we're going to test it. So the way that we do that is hit copy function, and we're going to say yes. And then it's going to appear in our function code. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test it to make sure we get the result that we need. So let's hit the little test function here. Let's put some seconds in. So let's try 60 seconds. Now I'm hoping that it's going to give 1:00. Excellent. That's exactly what we need. So of course, if I put, say, 120 in there, we know that's 2 minutes. Phew, there we go. Excellent. So things are looking pretty good. Let's put maybe there we go. Put a bigger number in there. Hit run. There we go. 1640. Excellent. So things are looking really good. Bear in mind, though, of course, when you run the AI, you might need to run it quite a number of times before you kind of get the look that you need in terms of the code. So if you're not a coder, it doesn't matter. Just keep trying it out. Keep going back to the copy the actual function into here, do a little test, make sure you get the result that you need. And we've done all of this without actually even writing this code. And what's really nice about this, of course, is you're learning coding, you can actually see what the AI is actually generating, and you can try to work out and try to follow it through of exactly what it's doing. So that's pretty well much excellent. The only thing we need to actually do now is put an actual function name in. So we're going to call this one convert seconds to minutes. Okay, hit the save function. And we've got our function in there. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to pass the seconds from our API result actually into this. So we're just going to choose this here. We're going to choose specific value. We're going to choose from variable, and we're going to choose the video item, and we're just going to go down into the JSON path, and we're just going to quickly double check to see what the path was into our seconds. It's just called length seconds. So let's go back here and let's choose dot length seconds. Hit confirm there. Oh, default value, we're just going to put 0 in there. Hit confirm, and we are good to go. So just one thing to point out, actually, you might have noticed that sometimes that you will actually have like a potential error up here. It was kind of indicating that there's something that is actually wrong. If that does occur on your application, all you just need to do is, after you've done a custom function, you just need to make sure that you've it's fully kind of tested. So just go to edit function, just to make sure that we've got a tick up here, we've got no errors. You just might need to do that, and then hit save, and then away you go. You should be in a good position where that's then green. So just confirm that, and you should be in a good position. Right, let's now test that. Let's make sure we get our seconds now nicely converted. So let's move over to the test mode. So there you go, our UI is looking pretty slick now. We've kind of got this dynamic data now loading from our API response. Of course, it's just a dummy API response at this particular stage. We will switch that out to the live one when we get our search screen all created. But this gives us a great platform for us to be able to develop the application further. In the next video, we're going to focus on fleshing out the pill section. We're also going to start then navigating our way through the pages. So we're going to start creating the page where we're going to display the video details. We're going to put the YouTube player on there as well, so we can actually play the content. We're also going to make another call out to another API, which is going to return back the channel content for the author. So I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope you're following along and learning lots along the way. Please do like this video, of course. Really appreciate all of your likes and your feedback as well. And please, of course, if you're not a subscriber, please also subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing lots of this stuff in the future, so please do stick around. So until the next one, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.